All right, I'm really excited about this video. Been wanting to put this out for a little while, and it's really the comparison of my two electric mountain boards. We have the Ecomobl Telum board right here on my right, or be on your left, and the MBS Agent here to my left or your right. And what fun boards! Really, when it comes down to it, any electric mountain board is a win. But there's some big differences, and I wanted to start out right with the price point. So last time I looked online, the Ecomobl Telum two-wheel drive goes for approximately $1,600, and the MBS Agent goes for about $2,700 in the two-wheel drive version. The MBS Agent, the bindings are extra, and on the Ecomobl Telum, they come with some entry-level bindings, which I don't have on my board now, but it's complete for that price. So the remotes, definitely the MBS Agent remote is far superior to the Ecomobl Telum. So it's sturdier, stronger, better display, easier to navigate. So a big plus on the MBS Agent when comparing the remotes. So they both have module batteries. The Ecomobl battery, though, requires a couple tools to undo the set screw and to be able to slide out the battery from the track. The MBS Agent has these fastening system. I kind of call it the lunch box clips, but it snaps into place and requires no tools. So range, this here's the smaller MBS battery, which of course comes with the two-wheel drive Air model that is their least expensive on their line of electric mountain boards. The range I've found to be pretty similar. It varies depending on the terrain, but I've gotten between 9 and 14 miles of range on the Ecomobl Telum, and we're looking at 10 plus miles on the MBS Agent. Now, of course, the range varies depending on the size of the rider, the terrain, and speed, but I'm kind of comparing them based on similar trails and riding styles that I personally performed. So definitely, pretty similar on the batteries, although I definitely like the ease of switching this out. I don't have spare batteries really for either of my boards, so at this point there is no need for me to switch out the batteries. This is my second battery, however, for the Ecomobl Telum, and my first battery lasted a little over 2 years, and then there was some cells that went bad, so I was able to get a replacement battery for this, which retailed around $600, and I believe the MBS Agent, the smaller version battery, is in the $700 range. I could be off a little bit, but it was either $700 to $800 for that battery. So the decks, we have a much more flexible deck with the Ecomobl Telum, and we'll just show the bottom here. It's a full-on carbon fiber 21 ply deck, very forgiving on the terrain and landings and such. On the MBS Agent, we have a much more stiffer deck. It's also, it's a composite, so it's not, it's designed differently, but very, very sturdy. So it depends on the riding style. Definitely, there are times where the more flexible deck feels really good. So, give a slight plus on the Ecomobl for the deck. The trucks, as you can see, these are about an inch wider on the Ecomobl Telum, and they have the springs in place. So it's a channel truck design with the springs. This right out of the box, it came with the red springs in the back and blue springs up front, which are a little softer. I didn't have to do any adjustments. It just rode really good, stable on high-speed downhill, but yet very maneuverable for BMX pump tracks and berms, and tighter riding. However, the MBS Agent is far more adjustable. It comes with 3 different size of bushings that have different durometers, and there's also 2 different positions. You can mount them on the inside position or the outside. So there's a little more of a learning curve on dialing in the truck setup for the MBS Agent. There was, some crashes and a little tougher learning curve on this board, but once, for me, dialed in really is the orange bushings in the back in the wide position, and the white softer bushings in the front also in the wide position. Now I've kind of pretty much have it dialed in where it turns and feels stable, similar to the Ecomobl Telum. So I do like the advantage of the adjustability, but again, it's not as straight out of the box rider friendly. Then we'll go to the motors. Probably the biggest difference, and we see, I'm no expert on all the technology, and please go to the websites and you can research all the specifications. But really what we have here are the external motors on the 2-wheel drive MBS Agent, and we have the planetary gear hub direct drive motors on the Ecomobl Telum. So big difference on the motors. These ones, now I've had this board for over 3 years. Starting to hear some and feel some problems with these motors. Last time I went riding a few weeks ago, it rode great for about 45 minutes. As we got closer to the last part of the session, I believe the motors were starting to possibly heat up or overheat, and there was some failure, disruption of power. It would there would be lags in between bursts of power and then and noises and stuff. So I knew that this board, was either going to require some major replacement and of motors and other components, and that's why I was so excited to jump on the brand new MBS Agents. Definitely, these motors are super powerful. I haven't had any issues whatsoever, and probably the biggest difference that I've seen is on the uphill climbing. I was really able, for the most part, to go up some moderate and challenging terrain on the Ecomobl, but there was some points where it would lose power, and so on the same trails going on the MBS Agent, it had incredible more power. I was able to really blast through and go up the steeper terrain. And it was like to the point of riding the Ecomobl Telum uphill, going from point A to B, mostly in a straight line. And the difference when I got on the MBS Agent, there was so much power. It's like, what line do I want to choose? How hard do I want to rip up the uphill terrain instead of just going to get to your end point? This was about, I could just rip uphill instead of just going and riding uphill. So huge advantage. That makes a lot of difference. They have different gear levels. I don't ride the highest levels when I'm in either the BMX pump tracks or skate parks and such, the lower levels. But really when you get in the steeper terrain, the uphill, that's where the higher level motor settings just give you the additional power. So the MBS Agent is a big boost compared to the Ecomobl Telum. And so overall, this is a great entry-level board, a good price point, but for experienced riders that want the top performance, then the MBS Agent really is a no-brainer. It's far superior. You pay a lot more. When it comes to the components, I've broken some components on my Ecomobl Telum. The brackets are not always the strongest materials. I have this now strapped in place with plastic tie wraps, and it's not that easy to get certain components. They sell some items online, and I've reached out and just haven't been able to get replacements, nor were they not that sturdy to begin with. On the MBS Agent, far superior access to components and their availability to order them individually. So I think that's a real strong point. Also, customer service would be far superior with the MBS board compared to the Ecomobl. So overall, that's really it. I definitely encourage riders, just to get a board, and whether it's Ecomobl, MBS, or another brand, just get out on the trails, get riding, learn your skill, enjoy the outdoors, and how much fun riding these electric mountain boards are. And so I'm sure there's some areas that I didn't cover. So as I think of other things, I may do some additional videos. If you have any questions on anything, please leave a comment, and I'd be happy to try to answer that, or even go more in depth in recording answer videos. So thanks to all my subscribers and all the people that watch and comment on the videos. Really appreciate that, and just super stoked actually on both boards. So enjoy riding and have a great day.